Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to stop it, but I didn't mean to go back. Hold on, guys.
What?
Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, good bad apple. How are you, sis? Hey, Danya. Welcome to the cutie crew. Beatra Nunn, Reen Bass. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You guys give me 1 second. I need to open up my chat on the other channel. Let me open it up and pause it. Just give me 1 second. I need to. Not pause it. Turn the volume down. Hold on, guys. On the other channel. Ain't nobody over here on my backup channel. Just give me 1 second. I need to. I split this live and all of y'all are here. It's fine. Hold on. Oh. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry, guys. Oh. All right. I'm over there, child, and I am over here. Happy Saturday evening to you guys. I just wanted to come and go over some of this testimony from week 1 of Diddy'S trial. You guys, I'm thinking about going. That's the only thing. For Verdict Watch, number 1, I've never been to New York, but I would love to go and cover this. But Verdict Watch, you don't know how long that could be. So I can go over there, and that's where I may not. I can go over there and be over there, child, for a month. You never know how long the jury is going to deliberate. But if you want to come up and be a part of the discussion / mock jury for tonight, feel free to click the link. Again, welcome Reen Bass and Bertha Nunn to the cutie crew. We love you, Tanya. All right, guys, I'm going to get right into this. You guys remember Karson Bleu? Let me bring up this video from Karson. Karson went viral this week. I'm going to start off with that. But she went viral this week for her thoughts on this whole Cassie and Diddy situation. And I will find, hold on. Oh my God. Let me respond to this message, guys. Give me 1 second. You guys know I can't type and talk at the same time. 1 second. I am so sorry. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I saw a message that I had to respond to. But as I was mentioning, if you are in, well, majority are a part of this Love and Mirror Huntsville sector, then you know that, or you know the name of Karson Bleu. And I was one that from day one knew Karson Bleu was telling the truth when it comes to the whole Ariane and Martell situation. How are you, Bravo?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for joining me.
Yes.
We're going to get into it in a minute. Give me 1 second. But Karson went viral this week. Now, after some of the testimony, I'll give my thoughts after we watch Karson Bleu. But here in Hoods in the news media. They said thoughts on this. A woman is trending after connecting Cassie's bitterness with Diddy and Young Miami's relationship. And the people over there, child, is laying into Karson Bleu. So let's take a look. Bravo, and you'll be first to give me your thoughts on this. Let me make sure I unmute. And here we go. This is covered under the Copyright Act of 1976 for fair use in news reporting and all that good stuff.
How are we feeling? How are we feeling about Cassie now? I just want to say this. A long time ago, I said, I don't believe Cassie. I don't believe she was ever a victim. And let me tell you something. It's so many people talking about some, oh, she didn't want to upset him. She didn't want to this. They was texting. She was in a safe space. You mean to tell me she can leave the relationship, go get married to the help unharmed, but she was that scared of him? No. I said a long time ago, and I got chewed up for it. Cassie got jealous when he saw how he put Young Miami on. She started thinking about all the disgusting stuff she was doing with him, and she left with nothing. And she like, damn, he just turned Miami up overnight, then turned her into a millionaire overnight. Young Miami ain't even rapping no more because she got her own show. She the face of this, face of that. She was getting money. He put Miami in position, and he never put Cassie in position. Nobody is a sex slave. I'll tell you right now, I know some females who are into all that stuff that they saying. I would never expose because I'm the type that listen but don't judge. But I can tell you right now, I know some females who into everything that they're saying. Nobody's forcing them. Nobody's forcing them. It's easy to paint somebody as a monster because they're doing vile acts. I know I'm turned up and they more turned up than me. Scorpios, most Scorpios, I'm going to be so real with y'all. Scorpios are turned up to the max. I'm with whatever my man with. Whatever he want to do, I want to do too. It ain't really too much that I wouldn't do with my man. But at the end of the day, the males, I don't even know. So all I'm saying is, I believe they were very much consensual freaks of it all. I do believe she might experience some domestic violence just due to the fact that I know.
We don't have to say we do believe she experienced some domestic violence because we witnessed that with our own eyes.
Some Scorpio males are very controlling. They say that that's a part of our sign. We can get a little bit controlling. I ain't with the putting my hands on nobody, but I believe that. I believe that this man put his hands on her because we saw it. But those freak offs, I believe some females that like to do it. I had a female try to convince me that I should get peed on by my man. Like, just try it. Let him do it. Let him do it.
Yeah.
Let him put it in your face. I said, sweetheart, I use Noxzema. I refuse. He doesn't even eat healthy enough for me to be trying that. So I know, let me stop. All I'm saying, and y'all can sound off below. If y'all think I'm wrong, I'm not going to argue with you for your view and opinion. Cassie liked it. She's no different than Diddy. She got mad once he put Miami on. And I think that her husband was the one who wanted to push this because she went through a depression. I remember when her husband said she just out of nowhere got depressed. You know what she got depressed about, buddy? Mm-hmm. She saw when Miami said, she like golden showers. She knew Miami wasn't lying. We all thought it was a joke, but she knew Miami wasn't lying because she like golden showers too. And she started thinking about the way Diddy was doing all that he was doing and all the cocaine that they probably were into and all the baby oil and all the fun drugs and money that those demonic people are into. And she got depressed because she was living a boring life that she thought she wanted. And she really didn't want that life. She wanted that nasty life. And if I'm wrong, whatever, if you think I'm wrong, fine. But I can tell you right now, and the crazy part is, the girls that I know that's into this, they probably would come on my page and be like, yup, but I wouldn't even do that because that's not my business, your business, or nobody's business. But I know for a fact that there are females who heavily enjoy every single thing that's being said in that video. Diddy would have never had this problem had they had I'm done because I've been said too much. Cassie was part of it. How are we?
All right. All right. Now, I do want to start off by saying this. Please don't let the personal opinions of Karson or anyone else, well, I can't tell you guys what to do, but it's not my intention. Turn yourself off from Karson. Karson is doing amazing. She's working at the car dealership. You guys know she's married with kids. CC, I see your comment about her choice of profession in the past, and this is her opinion. And excuse me, because of it, she went viral. So, bravo. We'll start with you, and then we're gonna get into week one. We may just start with yesterday's testimony. But what are your thoughts as far as what Karson said? And if anybody else in the chat want to come up and be a part of the discussion slash mock jury tonight, please feel free to click the link. You're up, bravo.
Um, I'm a Karson Bleu fan, but wow, no, just no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. There are many women, and I'm not going to get personal, but there are many women
Yeah,
who
this.
have been in abusive relationships, and their ups and downs, and I'm down and everything, but it's still an abusive relationship. It's it's not that simple.
Do
I
me a
wish it
favor. Do me
was.
a favor. Say AB Yusuf for me. You know we on YouTube.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
AB
your time. Go ahead.
Yusuf. It's still a hostile physical relationship. And, you know, I I've been watching the trial, listening to trial off and on when I can. And to me, I appreciated Cassie's honesty.
Mm-hmm.
And she did say at times, she was texting him and everything, I love you and all that.
Yeah, we're
She
gonna
didn't
get.
deny none of that. So no, I don't agree with Carson's opinion on it.
Okay.
And I know. Just no.
All
No.
right. All right. I feel you. I hear you. And I didn't agree with it either. Well, let me say this. I didn't agree with that part, but I do and will see. I don't have to think. I will get into reading of some things where Cassie stated that, the jealousy as far as other women. Do
Mhm.
I think that in Young Miami played a part? Absolutely not. The girl was
Mhm.
married with kids and all of that. Left this man. Okay. But like I said, you guys have to realize there are strong opinions. And I'm trying to do our little discussions about this. Just like we're a part of a jury, and a jury, one person may have, one opinion, and another may have, the next person may have another. Let's see.
Exactly.
It's the same thing that I was thinking in regards. That's a different type of mentality. They not like us, so to speak. All right. Philly Girl for Life said, "What? Hey, T. Lee, why would she come out and say this?" I think a lot of people are forgetting. This is a good point, Lisa Love, that this was also an employer slash employee relationship as well, which is where the legalities enter this matter aside from ABUs.
Mhm.
All right. So yeah, I wanted to again play it because we're familiar with Karson Bleu, and she has gone viral. She has
Mhm.
gone viral. But we're gonna get into some of some quick notes, and then also let me make sure I still have it up. Which one is it? Is it this one? Let me bring this up this way. I thought I had it up. All right, and I want to go to section 10. Let's see. Yeah, the fifth day. Okay. Let me share another screen because Cassie, her testimony, and look, as far as for me, Cassie is a victim. Cassie did experience domestic abuse. Absolutely, hands down, period, point blank. But we are going by what's going on in the trial. Shout out to, what's her name? Pam Esquire. She's an attorney. She's covering this. I've been watching Armand. I've been watching Tisa Tells. I've been watching a lot of different content creators and their thoughts and all of that on this. And look, this is the trial of the century, okay? But first, what I'm going to do is share a couple excerpts, screenshots, and all of that. And then we'll get into day 5, which is yesterday, of that trial. I'll also be looking at the chat, attempting to, and I'll scan and read some of your comments. But when it comes to these FOs, and you guys, if you don't know what FOs is, you should know the offs with the F in the front. I'm going to do it just for YouTube, but they had Cassie to read a text. And Diddy tells her, want to have our last free, shot. I said it my damn self, bravo. Want to have our last F off tonight. Can I say F off? F off. YouTube may stop me from that because that's like saying F off. You know what I mean? Yeah. Can our last have a child? They do what they do. Freak off tonight. This is him sending this in September of 2012. And Cassie asks, no, he said, want to freak off one last time, right? And they asked her, what did you say? And she said, I don't want to freak off for the last time. I want it to be the first time for the rest of our lives. Now, from that clip, yeah, Armand is on fire. From that little part, bravo, do you think that her answer was, she responded as a victim? Or do you think that, and I'll tell you why I'm asking you in a minute. Do you think that over time, maybe she possibly enjoyed their activities? Not talking about the elevator video or anything like that.
I don't know, because I don't know if there was a consequence if she responded any kind of way. I don't know the breakdown. I do think at that time that she was maybe into it, or maybe she was trying to connect with him on some kind of freaky level. I don't know. But you know what I mean? I just, I don't know. Because I'm not used to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
In a regular conversation. For me, just looking at it and not knowing the background, it would seem like she was into it.
Right. Okay. That's what I just wanted to know from you. And as far as seeming like, and look, this is not victim shaming. Again, we are going over what is in the transcripts, what was said, all of the above. But speaking of being into him, she says she's always ready for the FOs. Then she herself started sending explicit messages to him. And she said that, she wanted to be uncontrollable when they were having these FOs. Cassie also, did he like to watch? So his defense is saying that this is a part of the swingers lifestyle as far as what they were doing. And he liked to see her doing the do with other men. And she testified that she sometimes watched him as well, with other women. So they had that voyeurism type lifestyle, you know what I mean? Let's see. They asked her directly whether she thought FOs were related to the swingers lifestyle. And she said in an actual way. And then she said they were different. Let's see. I think I'm going to go directly into, okay, let's go ahead and do this. And again, we are going through excerpts, and then we'll go through day 5. But the court, they asked her, somebody, did you read the court transcript of what transpired today? They were in a room, got into an argument. This part, I don't know. This person, which is there, claimed, and I don't care what it was, but they're trying to minimize what we saw in that video. They claimed that Cassie hit Diddy, and took his bag containing his clothes and other items, and that's why he ran in that's why he ran out in that towel. I don't believe that, but they are trying to say they both were, putting them paws on each other. Last graphic message, I may not even be able to read it, and then I'll tell you guys what I started on earlier. But it's just graphic messages of her saying what she wanted done. Legs behind her head, and can't wait to have the, all of that. And anyway, his attorneys did all of this to basically try to say that a lot, if not the majority, of their actual encounters were consensual. And look, I'm not in the bedroom, so I don't know, child. I don't know. But what I will say is this, and I'm glad you're up here, Philly girl, because after we go through day 5, I do want your thoughts, because I'm still not seeing Rico. But we must remember, we are in week 1. We are in week 1 of this trial. And this trial is expected to last 8 weeks. So we've only seen a couple witnesses thus far. And for me, Philly girl, again, I'm operating out of a juror today. I don't see Rico yet, but you put it in the chat, so I'm glad that you're here. Before I proceed, let's see. Philly girl for life, any thoughts so far?
Hey sis, how are you?
I'm good.
Let me take my headset set out so you can hear me better.
Okay.
I think while Cassie was the star witness because she's the one that's been in the public, I don't believe, if I understand Rico correctly, I don't believe that her testimony proves Rico. And listen, if she liked that lifestyle, because she is admitted to, and in some degree, agreeing to it. Now, sometimes she did, sometimes she didn't.
Mm-hmm.
In my line of work, when I was in HR and I did investigations, especially dealing with students in college, you can be freaking off all night long. But if at that last one you say no,
Facts.
no is no, and it changes. Now the person has been violated. If the
Right.
person is under the influence, you cannot give consent under the influence.
Mm-hmm.
I'm suspecting that they did not expect for Cassie to prove the RICO, but perhaps other witnesses that come in because it's about trafficking, bringing people in. Those are part of the RICO charges. It wasn't established this week,
Right.
but
And
we've
that's
got
all we're
probably
talking about.
we've got at least 7 more weeks to go. And
Yeah.
so we'll see what happens. But they were into some, freaky stuff that the average person isn't into. I'll just say I ain't nowhere near interested in
Yeah.
nothing, like that. But to each his own. As for Karson Bleu, she's entitled to her opinion.
Yeah.
Because we all have one. Opinions are like rear ends. Everybody's got one.
Nice.
So, we'll see what happens at the end of this. If he isn't found guilty, I imagine there's going to be some folks that are going deep underground because he's coming out swinging and going after people.
Yeah. Well, we'll discuss more of that as this go along. I think that his power is gone. I think that he would be an absolute nutcase to, if he is found not guilty, to come out and exhibit any of the behaviors that he has in the past. Because your ass gonna be right back in there. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing, I think with Diddy, he uses other people. I listened to Tisa Tells today, and
Yeah.
she was saying that, they got folks out there with the free Diddy t-shirts, and
Mm-hmm.
that he's using his money to have some of the major media outlets spin the narrative. And
Well,
so,
we don't know if he's the one that
allegedly,
organized that. Yes.
allegedly,
Right. We
allegedly.
don't know that. And look, just to keep it real, Diddy has fans still.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the facts that come out in this trial and the thoughts of the jury is really all that matter. But we're gonna have mixed opinions, period. You know what I mean? But let me bring up the official, and I agree with you. Rico was not, and I don't think that they expected that. Rico was not proven, and that's what he's on trial for. So it is so sad and unfortunate what Cassie experienced as far as what we witnessed, you know, and a lot of the things that's come out. And but that's DV. And I think that I get why the prosecution wanted her to speak, but it doesn't speak to his charges. So, like you said, they're going to lead up to a whole lot. Also, Aubrey O'Day was supposed to, member of Danity Kane. Dawn Richards started late yesterday as far as her testimony. So she'll be back Monday, but it was going around that Aubrey O'Day, and Aubrey has had it out for Diddy since that group ended. And she came out today and said that she will not be a witness. So I think that would have been explosive. But let's see. Good points, Philly girl. Let me go and bring me either. Teresa, look, I've been trying to give, I'm not even gonna say her name, but she is all over the place. The first day that I caught her giving her thoughts on it, she was outside the courtroom. It was raining and I really enjoyed it. But the second day that I watched, I had to turn it off. It was a bit much. She was everywhere.
Me too.
Stop. Now, and look, Philly girl, I know you may not be able to stomach Armand, but when I tell you guys that child, he's not a child, but he is on fire. Do you hear me? Yesterday, Armand actually acted like he was at a Diddy's party because one of the Homeland Security agents, they asked her, what is she, this I'll show you how sick Diddy is. Diddy was arrested September the 17th. Diddy was not supposed to be arrested until the 22nd, that following Tuesday. So he agreed with the popos and everybody else that he would be based in New York, and he was staying at one of them upscale hotels. And anyway, they surprised him and they got him a week early. And the agent went through everything that they found in his hotel room. They found 5 bottles of baby oil in the tub. That means whoever want to come and participate, you step in the tub, douse yourself down with the baby oil. They found all type of D-rugs. They found cameras set up on tripods, and Diddy was doing his last FOs before, because he thought he was gonna go and post bond $50 million. They turned that down and kept him. So that just lets you know the mind of this guy. I do think, and it does not excuse anything that he's been doing, but I'm just gonna say this. I do think that he was, and most likely still is, an ex-addict. One other thing, and we'll get into this when we get into the day 5. They also proved that the both of them were struggling to get off of D-rugs, both Diddy and Cassie. So you guys remember Diddy's video when he came out and said, I was at my low. I had hit rock bottom and I'm just so sorry and all of that. His attorneys are going to try to say that what you guys saw when it comes to Cassie, and he's not on trial for that. He was a D-rug addict. You know what I mean? But let's get the definition of RICO. Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act. As of this week, I haven't seen anything when it comes to the organization, but it will be coming. They said it's an enterprise is defined by any individual, partnership, corporation, association, or other legal entity, and any union or group of individuals associated, in fact, even if not a legal entity. In essence, it's any organization, legitimate or illegitimate, that is used as a base for racketeering activity. Now, this part is the AI version, because I heard that for anything to be considered a RICO, it must be more than one. Obviously, that's not the case, because that's what they're charging him. He's one person. You know what I mean? But I did want to bring that up since you mentioned it. And bravo right now. Bravo right now. I just want to ask you, week one, what is your verdict? Just give me your verdict. That's it. Week one.
My verdict?
Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
All right. Philly girl, week one, what is your verdict?
Unfortunately, not guilty, because I don't think that they proved RICO.
All right. And for me, Philly girl, not guilty. Week one. So we just operating in that mind frame right now. But
well, based on the law, and
that's it.
Yeah, based on the law itself, not because I like him, dislike him, or whatever, but just based on the law and what RICO stands for. If it was DV, he'd be guilty, 20 times over. Yeah.
Yeah, we are talking about the facts and the case only.
Right.
So in order to be a jury member, you have to be able to put your personal feelings aside and you look at the evidence. You was going to say something, Bravo.
Yeah, for me, there's small elements that are pointing towards RICO. And sometimes we miss.
Not pointing towards what you heard.
Well, what I heard, and one of the things is that he is operating under his license name, and he is using his employees for coercion, and he is using sums of money that's recent for coercion and for legal activities. For me,
hold on, Bravo. That was just because after we read yesterday's, we about to go through that now. I'm gonna ask you the same thing. So I don't want you to need a deep dive. You know,
okay, because you know me.
Yeah, no problem. But I want that at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, good, bad apple. One person can be charged with the RICO if there are indicted co-conspirators cooperating with the prosecution and have a time. Thank you so much, sis. And it is obvious that one person can be charged because, again, he's one person and he's charged. But a lot of people are making a big fuss. And for me, I always thought RICOs, and we're getting educated on this as well. I always thought RICOs consisted of, more than one. Let me read Lisa's comment. I totally agree with you. Absolutely. And it let me know that he put himself even above them. But Lisa Love said the last shred of humanity left the diddler when he had his daughters sit through the testimony as if it wasn't enough to introduce this madness to his sons and have them participate, allegedly, when it comes to the sons. Totally agree. Yeah, totally agree with you. I did not like that. They were introduced to things by hearing it that they probably had no idea of. And for him and his attorneys to think that was a good look, just to show the jury that he got his family here and they love him, and look at his baby girls. You know what I'm saying? All of that. But I'm gonna give you guys one more piece, and maybe I'll do this later because I really want Philly Girl and Bravo's thoughts on this. So don't answer me now. Don't answer me now. When it comes to Cassie was dating Ryan Leslie, excuse me. Ryan Henry is from Black Ink Chicago. Child, why I got Henry down here? Ryan Leslie. She was dating him when she met Diddy. Now they switched some things around because at first they were saying that Cassie was 16 when she started dating Ryan Leslie. Ryan Leslie is 10 years older than her, which will put him at 26. But they said today, none of this is facts because I have to fact check this as far as the age. But on social media today, they said Cassie was 19 when she started dating Ryan Leslie. and that would put him at 29. Now, they said that she dated Ryan Leslie for 3 years, and that's when she met Diddy. So I don't know where that came from, and I guess I'll do a search before we get into the discussion about that. Let me write that down. But it could have come out here because maybe they are trying to put Cassie as an adult. And shout out again to Attorney Tam Esquire. Love her channel. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she said that as well. That when Cassie started dating Diddy, she was 22. Right, yeah, Ryan Henry is fine, ain't he? Hey, L'Oreal. Ooh, chow. Baby, I went down there to that tattoo shop when I lived there. That's another conversation. But let's get into day 5. Shout out to those of you that are here. Again, if you want to come up and be a part of this mock jury tonight, please feel free to hit the link. But we got day 5's testimony, and I'm going to read it. Let me see. Can I do this? All right. So I'm going to try to say, well, I'll say judge, I'll say attorney, I'll say Cassie. That's it. Let's see. I'm going to skip through this part. But starting off yesterday, the prosecution objected because Diddy's defense attorneys were trying to have a video of him walking in nature and talking to God. They wanted that admitted into evidence, and the prosecution didn't want it. But his attorney said this was about him being in rehab, which Miss Ventura didn't remember. So we want to refresh her recollection with this. Prosecution, it cannot be played for her in front of the jury. Diddy lawyer, we have headphones. Judge, our jury is ready. Any more issues? Diddy attorney, if the grape is after the charged conduct, it shouldn't have come in. It's a huge issue for us. Judge, it's not a huge issue. You didn't raise it at the time. Diddy lawyer, we thought we could cross on it. Judge just said, all rise. Judge was sick of his ass, okay? But anyway, they started, excuse me. And I'm sorry, guys, this weather. Philly girl, was it chilly over by you? Philly girl.
Child, we end up not going outside because it's windy as heck over here and cloudy. So that just left me in the house.
Okay, me too. Me too. I was supposed to go, but okay, let's get started. So Diddy lawyer talking to Cassie, and shout out to the chat. But I'm not looking at it, guys, because I got to read. But welcome. Hit the like button for me. Diddy lawyer, you believe Mr. Cohn was blacked out for the Intercontinental event. Blacked out meaning drunk. She said, I believe he was intoxicated. Everyone's definition is different. Attorney, but you said blackout. Attorney, what did you write here? Cassie, I wrote, when you get effed up the wrong way. Diddy attorney, you meant D-Rugs, Cassie, and alcohol. Diddy attorney, here, Mr. Combs write to you, I am so orn with a H-E for you. Prosecution objects, this is not in evidence. Diddy attorney, here, Mr. Combs is asking you for X soon after the Intercontinental. Again, Intercontinental is the hotel incident. And you're not going out there, Teddy. No. But they said that he wrote to her in a text asking her for X after that incident. And Cassie said, I was saying who he felt. I don't know. I must have missed something in there. His attorney, what did you write back? Cassie said, I wrote, we need a different vibe than Friday at the Intercontinental. So she's telling him that, what went on, we can do this, but we need a different vibe. So Diddy wrote, F Friday. I don't even want to do that again. What did you write? She wrote, LOL, true. Diddy attorney, Mr. Combs suspected you of having an affair with someone else in the industry. What happened when he took your phone? God, dog, guys. Dogs are worse than children. I promise you. Give me 1 second. It's either, and they don't use it in the house, but yeah, dog, I'm sick of these dogs. Go. Hold on, guys. And they just gonna be cold because I'm leaving them out there. Well, okay. My apologies. All right, so let me read that part again. They said Mr. Combs suspected you of having an affair with someone else in the industry. What happened when he took your phone? She said we were in a car and he told me to call my mother. When I did, he grabbed my phone and took it. His attorney said it was a big fight, and she said he was just gone. Now that's crazy to me, and I'm not going to give too much commentary in between, but why would you have her to call her mother and then grab the phone? That's going to make her mom panic. But she said he was gone. They asked for how long. She said a few hours until my mother called the popos. They said, did Mr. Combs go through your phone? She said, I think so. And he called someone on it. They say that person you had an affair with, an NFL player. So that's not Kid Cudi. I don't know if he's playing anymore, but he was an NFL player and he was jealous. She said, they asked her, wasn't there a time he found out you were dancing with another person in the entertainment industry and took your phone, right? She said, I don't remember. They said it was Chris Brown. And she said, I was not dancing with him. One other thing that I'll tell you guys know that the Kid Cudi, the guy that Diddy allegedly blew up his car, that Cassie was dating at some point. I didn't know that Diddy had introduced her to Kid Cudi. So I thought that, she was messing with him before. So they're going through all of this. But anyway, she said she wasn't dancing with Chris Brown. So they show us something and say, look at this. It's from 2013. She said, now I see. What else did Mr. Combs take? This is crazy. He took my car, my passport when he was angry. That's crazy. Let's refresh you about Mr. Combs being in rehab. Again, they are trying to make it a point that he wasn't in his right mind when any of this was going on. She said, I vaguely remember. They asked, why did you go to Sedona? She said, I went to Arizona to get away from D-Ruggs. Attorney, I'm going to go to a new topic. Mr. Combs told you to go get the video you'd heard about. What did you write? I wrote, you keep putting me down. Diddy attorney, I'm going to play you some audio. And in the audio, it says, if you saw a video of someone effing me, who was effing me, you have it. Why didn't you show me? And allegedly, and I don't know if it's in this part, and we're going to see this guy. You guys remember the weird looking clear guy that came out and said that he used to participate in these things with Diddy and Cassie? He looked real strange today. I don't know. He looked like he done lost his mind. I don't know how he looked back in the day. Anyway, he'll be testifying soon, but allegedly he was setting up he set up a camera and was taping them during their FOs. And he told Cassie he had it. Cassie told him, I'm going to unalive you. I'm going to unalive you. If you don't, good, bad apple. Got you. But he had to continuously do something on that phone for it to not go back to being locked. That's a good point, though, sis. But anyway, they're trying to show that Cassie was just as dangerous. She told this guy, I'm going to unalive you, and you bet not let this get out. And if I don't do it, somebody else will. And anyway, I just wanted to throw that part in there. Let's continue. Are you aware of an escort leaving comments on Mr. Combs' Instagram page? She said, I am not. Now let's talk about rehab. Do you still use Suboxone? She said something like it. What does it treat? Opioid addiction. The prosecution objected. So I don't know anything about it. And I'll let the panel, if they are familiar, once we're done with this fifth day. But she's currently using that to treat opioid addiction. His attorneys are trying to say that she's still an addict. They said you wrote a book in rehab. The place treats actual compulsion. The prosecution said objection, and then the judge called them to a sidebar. So what they're trying to do, guys, is they're trying to say that this lifestyle, yeah, they were involved in the FOs, but that Cassie enjoyed their lifestyle. Again, this all what came out in this trial. So they come back. They asked her, did she get neurofeedback therapy? She said yes. They asked, what is it? Cassie said they hook something up to your head and show things. See how you react. They asked, were you told the effects of it? She said that it helps with her trauma. They asked if she participated in EMDR. She said yes. They said, what does it do? And she said memories and processing them. The attorney asked, the idea is you recall prior traumatic memories, like for PTSD, you were being treated for PTSD. She said yes. She said, I was still physically developing. His attorney said, you were 22. Cassie said, women keep developing after 22, don't you think? They said, but you're not suggesting you were still physically developing after 22. She then said, I am not. So they kind of caught her up right there because she said up here, I was still physically developing. Then she told them, I am not. Diddy attorney, this message is about having an FO without ketamine, right? Prosecution, may I confer with counsel? The judge said no, but we'll take a break. Anyway, the jury comes back out and we're going to continue. Let's see. I want to make sure. Diddy's attorneys, Mr. Combs wrote, you're so predictable. You said you were going to tell him you didn't want to do FOs anymore, but you didn't say it, did you? She said, I did not. They said, here you were suggesting FOs with a girl. His attorney said, you say you found a photo of Mr. Combs with Gina while you were staying with your parents in Connecticut. Gina is the one that Tasha K interviewed, and that was the girl that Diddy was also messing around with. They said you decided to break up with him and he didn't threaten you, but suggested couples counseling. Is that not a narc? Is that not a narc move there? Couple, we're not a couple. You got women everywhere. But anyway, Cassie said, I don't know. They said in August 2018, you called it a closure conversation with Diddy. He was inviting you to Burning Man, right? She said yes. This is after all of the FOs and all of that. They said, I'll read Mr. Combs. You have anger. Cassie said, I wrote, my family knows I'm not running around telling our business. That part don't make sense. Cassie said, I wrote, but I don't need you to be taken of Kim and Gina. So she was saying taking care of Kim and Gina. I need you to put me first. So they then asked her, please read these. She said, I wrote, you lied to me. She never went away. It was the nail in the coffin. They said, you meant Gina? She said, yes. So she did, facts, Danya, she did admit that she was, and maybe it's coming up, very jealous of Kim Porter because Diddy came out and said, that's my soulmate, period. And if you are like me, you remember Diddy saying that several times. Also, Cassie was upset she didn't get holidays. She felt like she was a side chick. So she couldn't spend Thanksgiving, Christmas, all of that with Diddy. Right here, they said, in your civil lawsuit, you say Mr. Combs raped you in September 2018 after you had dinner at an Italian restaurant in Malibu, right? She said, yes. So right there, they're just trying to bring the dates and all of that up. But Cassie did admit that she did continue on with relations with Diddy, if I'm not mistaken, one more time, after the grape. Okay. Did you meet with the U.S. attorneys on November 30th, 2023? She said yes, not the exact date. In this meeting, you said the grape took place after Mr. Combs returned from Burning Man. You said he was acting strangely at that dinner. She said, I don't remember exactly that word. They asked, did you meet with the U.S. on April 8th, 2025? She said, around then. They said this message to FB. Who's that? Frank Black is a name that he used. He wrote, I'm in an investors conference. We'll get back to this. You still have love for him? She said, I have love for the past and what it is. I don't know. I think this guy jumbled up his notes. Anyway, they had another sidebar. We're going to continue. From what I understand, no, Danya. From what I understand, no. So, do I think that they were in, some compromising situations as far as what they did in the bedroom, probably between the two of them? Yes. But yeah, I've never heard that Kim participated or was down for a period. But anyway, let's get back. They said, you wrote, I didn't mean to be a BI. I just don't get the time. He writes, just needs you to be positive. She said, correct. She said, yes. What is this? Is this your yoga instructor? She said, yep. What did you write? I wrote, I stopped even caring, but you did care. She said, yes. So he said, you could date other people. Let's just talk about it. Correct. She said, yes. So they're trying to say that Cassie was not under lock and key. Diddy told her they can date other people. Let's just make sure we agree about it. That is crazy. She said, I wrote, I do love you. I would just prefer not being one of your girlfriends. Let's get up tomorrow night. I'll do studio from 6 to 9. He writes, can I hold you or are you just going to break up with me? And you write back, we can embrace, LOL. And you wanted to hug him, right? She said, that's what I said. They asked her, did you guys have sex that night? She said, yes. And his attorney said, and during that, your now husband FaceTimed you. She said, yes. So she did not say, because this is going around all over social media, she did not say she answered the FaceTime, but Cassie's husband is the trainer that Diddy hired for her and him. She ended up dating him and marrying him. He's a great guy. Anyway, but yeah, she said that he FaceTimed them while they were having sex. They said your now husband didn't know you were with Mr. Combs at the time. She said, I don't know what he knew. They said he later discovered it. Prosecution objection. Judge said overruled. They said you didn't tell your husband you were great. She said not that evening. After Miss Porter's memorial service, you wrote to him that you were going home. This is after she was married, I believe. Why had he called Kim his soulmate? What was the 11 years about? She said yes. They said that was hurtful. She said at that time. We getting there, guys. We only got a couple more pages. Let's see. So they're skipping because this right here, 17 and 18, not shown in the preview. Let's see. They were talking about after her settlement, she canceled her tour. So when Diddy settled with her for that $20 million, Cassie was set up to go on tour in Australia. That happened in November. Her tour was supposed to start that January. She canceled that. And they said it was because you no longer needed the money, right? And she said that wasn't a reason. And I would have canceled. Shit, what the hell I get look like going out there doing all of this and I got this money. I would have canceled. Anyway, after the hotel video came out, you posted on Instagram that DV is the issue, right? She said, yes, I still feel that way. Mr. Combs wrote, want to F off one last time. What did you write? So this is after the grapes. This is after she got with her husband, probably was boyfriend at the time. This was after. That's when she said, I don't want it to be the last time. I want F off for the first time. And they ended it on that. They said no further questions. And I'm just going to say that last little part, his attorneys did the thing because, again, they're fighting for Diddy. So if you are, and the prosecution is focusing on these F offs, and how brutal they were and how she didn't want to participate, and they ended like this. Diddy sent her that message, want to F off one last time. She said, I don't want it to be the last time. I want F off for the first time. Okay. Let's see. I think I am going to let me read, because after that, when they said no further questions, the prosecution wanted to, redirect. So they said, Miss or Cassie, you were shown this message where you ended. I don't want to F off one last time. I want it to be the first time for the rest of our lives. What did you say after that? She said, yes, I'm horn with the E. Just got over a UTI. So she told him, yeah, I'm down. I'm horny. And I know I've had all these UTIs in the past, but that's gone. So they said, you were shown messages today in which you and Sean were kind and loving. Yes. Did those periods ever last? His attorneys objected. The judge overruled. She said, no, they didn't last. There'd be a downswing. Prosecution said, what world did Sean open up to you? She said, a world of chaos. Prosecution, in your 11-year relationship, what did you want to have X with? She said, only him at the time. Now, I'm sorry, guys, that's a lie, because she already said earlier in the week that, yeah, I did enjoy some of them. Like Philly Girl said, no means no, even if she did participate. But I don't think she ever wanted it just with him. Maybe she did, but when he introduced her to this lifestyle, if he introduced her to this lifestyle, she was down for it. Anyway, she said that, she said she wanted it only with him. Sean wrote, seduce me all day. What did you do? I wrote him about FOs. They said, were you able to cancel work obligations for FOs? She said, yes, if I was told to. Prosecution, when you were shooting a movie in South Africa. Okay, so we went through this, and that's when somehow, while she was over there, and I think it's because Diddy had people watching her, she saw on social media him with Gina. He also learned that she was over there and Michael B. Jordan was there, and Diddy thought every man wanted her and all of that. Let's see. All right, so this was damaging to Diddy. But again, I think this all plays a part for me into the whole DV, the AB use, and all of that. But they were on a boat, and they asked, what did Diddy do? Cassie said he played a video of me having X with an escort. Prosecution asked what he say he'd do. He said he would release it. Prosecution, when you got to New York, what did Sean ask for? She said a FO or he'd release it. They said, when Sean wrote, you ready for tonight? What did he mean? She said FO. What were you afraid he would do if you did not do that FO? We know that, and it stopped. She was most likely afraid that, yeah, he gonna go ahead and release that tape. So Danya, I agree. And that's their job. Let's just put it that way. That's their job, and they did it. They did it. So I'm going to start with you, Bravo. I read a lot. I want your thoughts on what I read. And then at the end, let me know if you are still just judging from the testimony, guilty or not. Go ahead.
Um, was that the only testimony from day 5?
It was not. And I need to find more because it's really explosive.
Yeah.
And I find more. You go ahead and give me your thoughts on that thus far, because I have a whole Word doc with it as well and more of the transcript. But it did not make Cassie look good at all. Go ahead.
Um, it did make her look good. I think she a lot of times she was just saying what he wanted her to say. I think a lot of times that when a person is going through that type of relationship, they just relent to it. They just give in to it, you know. And to me, it sounded like because it had been such a big part of her life that eventually she relented to it and was like, okay, F it. This is it. This is what it's going to be, you
Small,
know.
small interruption, because I want your thoughts on this. It's going around. We mentioned Ryan Leslie, and she was with
Yeah.
Ryan Leslie for 3 years. He was 10 years older. Allegedly, according to social media, I did not hear this in any of the testimony, but these are people in the industry that say that they knew them when they were together. Allegedly, she was involved in orge with Ryan Leslie,
Right.
with multiple people. Is that different for you than FOs?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay.
Uh-uh. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what her actual likes are and what her tolerance of things are and stuff. To me, it sounds like at some point she felt like that was it for her. You know, that there really wasn't anything else going to happen with her when it came to her life, her whole life. I mean,
Talking about with Ryan Leslie?
with after she left Ryan Leslie, she may have came in like, yeah, I'm down with whatever. I'm down to do the multiple people thing. I'm down with that and everything. And then it just turned ugly. Ugly in her sense of ugly. Ugly in, the ABUs and the D rugs and all that stuff. So to me it's not so simple as to say, well, she liked it, so that's what makes it all right. It's too complicated and too complex for that.
Okay.
and
Your thoughts on the testimony?
and so my thoughts on the testimony was like, yeah, she was literally agreeing to do those things and everything. And so, and she seemed, I don't know what she seemed like in the sense of what she was going through her head, but on black and white, it looks like she was agreeing to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but to me, agreeing to do things and all that does not negate that you may have inner pain, you may be going through some ish. I don't know. So,
Okay.
I mean, in black and white, it is what it is. She said those things, and she agreed to those things, and suggested those things. Why? What was she trying to connect to? What you know?
Look,
What?
I'm gonna go ahead and play a defense attorney right now. Maybe she enjoyed part of it.
Oh
Is it
yeah, that's what I said. Maybe that was part of her psyche that she liked doing those multiple things and everything. It just turned dark.
right?
Right.
Yeah. Could it be that she liked X? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna act like, and I'm not blaming her. We know what she went through. I do again. I
Mm.
must continue to say, I think that she was a victim in a lot of this. But some of this stuff, for instance, when she left Diddy and was dating Kid Cudi, they are trying to say that was an out. You could have left him for good. So a lot of people feel like, yeah, sometimes, unfortunately, especially when you're young and you find yourself in a situation with a powerful man, he got money and status and means and this or that, you're gunning for that number one spot. She said that out of her own mouth. I wanted to be the main girl. So,
Yeah.
based off a lot
Because
of the things that they said that she initiated when it comes to their ex life, look, she probably enjoyed some of this stuff.
she may have, but then at the same point, maybe she felt like because I'm doing all of this stuff, I should be the number one girl. I'm going through this ABUs, the DRs, the multiple people, you watching, me watching. I'm doing all of this, for years.
Mm-hmm.
And I should be number one because I'm doing what nobody else will do. So, and then at the same time, a lot of people who stay in stuff for the years, they get to their breaking point and their snapping point and their end all point. And, you know, and it's just not simple to say, you know, well, she liked it and she did this and that. You know, we have seen multiple stories
Mm-mm,
across
mm.
everything where people stayed and they have expressed times where they were happy, but it, you know, but they were still in an ABU thing. So yeah, I definitely, like I said, it's in black and white,
All right.
and
Uh-oh.
yeah.
So it's in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as us having this mock jury tonight, and
Mm-hmm.
if your verdict remains the same,
Yeah.
it remains the same. But with you saying it's in black and white, she did agree with it. She did set some of it up as of right now. And
Mm-hmm.
next week, and I'll bring up a little more from yesterday as well. Your verdict again.
It's the same because there were other elements to the trial. Even
Okay.
though some of them are small, they're enough for me.
Go
It's the
ahead and
same.
say them. What other elements?
Well, one that he was using employees to keep her from the public eye. He was using his power and money; those were paid employees to do basically kidnapping. I'm like, what? And I'm just listening, and I'm like, did anybody catch that? Because she's being held. She's not allowed to call her mama. She's not allowed to leave. She's beat up and all that. Why are you guys watching this, knowing it's illegal and you're not doing the legal thing? So who's telling you not to do the legal thing is Diddy. So that to me, you know, little things like that, I'm, you know, my mind is clicking like, wait a minute, wait a minute. So you're being paid, multiple people are being paid to not say anything, do anything to help this woman once she is ABUs. I don't care what she says she likes or doesn't like or anything. Once she's ABUs, you, as a legal citizen of this country, you're supposed to go get her help. You're complicit if you don't.
Let me ask you, what you're speaking of now, did
Hmm.
the prosecution get into that this week?
They didn't know, and that
Right.
irritated me because they didn't
But
break
bravo.
that down.
We acting like we're part of the jury, sis. So we
Right.
are. And look, your verdict right now is not guilty. I respect it. I'm not trying to change your mind, but I don't
Hmm.
want us to get ahead of ourselves because when we're up here, we're just going on the testimony. You know what
Right.
I mean?
So,
And we're going to take that week by week.
and as a juror, I would point that out.
Well,
I
it's
would be
week
like,
one.
why isn't the guys helping them?
It's week one. So
Right.
the prosecution most likely is going to get to it.
Right.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
They're,
I mean, I'm totally down with everything you're saying, and I'm, you know, I'm the type of person. Look, you did say that, Cassie. Okay, but to me, her saying that doesn't negate the his actions and his need for control and his
okay.
actions to maintain that control, which were illegal.
Got you. I respect it. And it's not like I totally disagree
Right.
with you. But again, I'm just going by what was presented to us. And I will go through more. And we're going to get to Philly Girl. After Philly Girl, I'm going to read some comments. Teresa said, who groomed her? Ryan Leslie or Diddy? Um, Bravo.
I know, right? Because I'm there too. I'm right there. Who's the groomer? Who did it?
Look, please don't unsubscribe. If y'all do, y'all do. I cannot do anything but keep it real.
Right,
Sometimes in life, sometimes, and this has nothing to do with the ABUs.
right.
Guilty. If he was up there for ABUs and we have heard everything. I'm just talking about week one. Do not think for 1 second that there aren't girls out here that may be 16, 17, 18 that's about that life, that has experienced street life and partying and sneaking or whatever. Do I think, based off of the things that was said with about Ryan Leslie, that Cassie was unfamiliar with the lifestyle? I do not. And I'm just going to keep it real with you guys. I think
Mhm.
that she knew this celebrity lifestyle. So, Teresa, excellent question, because that's what a lot of people are saying, that look, and they're it may not have even been grooming when it comes to Ryan Leslie. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. But go ahead, Bravo, and we're gonna get to Philly Girl.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more that's going to come out and everything. And I'm a nitpicker when especially when it comes to cases. So I just don't I don't I don't I'm at the point where I don't care if they show video of her calling her friends to come over. At this point, I'm just like, when are we going to get into the actions of him?
Well, we gonna get that, sis. It's week one.
It's week one. That's what, I'm excited for. I'm excited, not excited, but I'm more, I want to get to the meat of the stuff. Right now, it's
Okay.
kind of fluff. And I hate to say that, but it
All
is
right.
kind of fluff.
Well, it was explosive. A lot of the things that came out this week.
Yeah.
But I do want to remind what we're doing when we do these mock trials, mock jurors and panels. It's the jurors. We just going off of what we see now. Next week, they probably gonna come on out with a little bit more Bravo, where we can talk about that part. After that, we can talk about that part. So, Bravo, you wouldn't be a good juror. Remember, let me see what
I
Philly.
win. I would be epic. Everybody would be yelling at
Yeah,
me.
they would have dismissed your ass.
They
Okay.
would have said, "You be quiet for now,"
Yeah,
because you and your little elements. But that's how I am. I have friends.
I
I
get it.
have friends who like, because I'll be like, "But girl, did you see that part?" I'm just like, and they're like, "What?
Yeah, we
I
get
didn't
it.
see it." No, it's
Yeah, we get it. It's
yeah,
cool. It's
yeah.
cool. All right, Bravo. Thank you so much, Teresa. Yes, that's what a lot of people are also saying. Cassie was the prosecution's star witness, and I'm gonna tell you this: if they don't keep
Mm.
bringing it and bringing it and bringing it with other people, yeah, it's not looking good. Also, when it comes to Don Richards, a singer that was a part of Danity Kane as well as Diddy's group Dirty Money, Dawn Richards started testifying yesterday. She'll continue on Monday, but she's in a current lawsuit with Diddy, and his lawyers are now trying to get that thrown completely out based off of her testimony and all of that. But excellent points, Bravo. I will star more comments. Thank you guys that's here. 78 of you. Please hit the like button. Let's see. We want to get to the criminal part because now with what we see in here, they was some big old low down nasty frisneaks. Miss Island Faxes. We gonna get there. But again, you guys that are here, that's in the chat, we are jury members. We're part of the jury. So
Yeah.
we gotta take it as far as what's presented to us. I'm gonna get into a little bit more after Philly Girl. But Philly Girl, I didn't like the way what I just read was put together, so I'm gonna find some more. But based off of what I said, Philly Girl, give me your thoughts and then give me your verdict at the end.
Okay. So first, I think we have to remember that this case is not Cassie Ventura versus Sean Diddy Combs. This is the United States
That's right.
versus Sean Diddy Combs. So that's one thing. The other thing is it has to be reasonable doubt and not preponderance of evidence. And
Mhm.
so for me, the prosecution has not shown reasonable doubt about the RICO. Now, as you so stated, we're just a week in to this thing. And so, what we determined is that, Cassie sometimes participated, sometimes didn't. And sometimes she felt that she was forced to do it because she feared that he was going to go public with it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can still feel that way. And she could still have liked being involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
And she may have liked it one week and not liked it the next week. So if the girl liked getting, doing things out of the norm, that's not against the law. None of that is against the law.
Mm-hmm.
I have to wonder for a young woman. I mean, we don't know because she can't have dated this Ryan guy at 19 for 3 years and then started dating Diddy at 19. The math is not mathing.
Right. So
So,
they're saying that she started dating Diddy at 22.
okay. And that's still very young. So it makes me wonder, okay, so when did you get introduced to this lifestyle? At some point she got introduced to it, and maybe she just had she liked it, and that too is not against the law. But this is not about her liking it or disliking it. This is about whether or not she was forced to do it at some point. If they were bringing in ex-workers to participate in these FOs. Now, you asked if like threesomes was the same as FO. It kind of seems to me.
I didn't say threesomes. I said or.
Well, I'm just saying threesome so as not to say the word that
but or is more than 3. Or is multiple. Could be 6, 7, 8, 10.
Okay. Well, I ain't never been in none of them. So, okay. Well, there you go. See, I learned something tonight.
To clarify, Jack.
Yeah, I probably could have lived a whole lifetime.
That's what I'm here for. It says, look at me in my innocent voice. That's what I'm here for.
Wait, you read about it in a history book?
Yeah, no, that's facts, baby. I ain't never more than me and the other person. Ain't no 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But perhaps the difference is, I mean, listen, I'm going to act like I know. I don't know what the difference is. And maybe those encounters gave her the appetite for what she ended up being involved in with Diddy. Clearly, to me, it seems like this is a woman that wanted to be his number one woman and was willing to do whatever he wanted to do to get to that status.
Oh.
And he didn't put her there. He didn't put her there. And, but even with that, God bless her, there was a price that Kim Porter paid for being in that status. He's just the devil incarnate, period, point blank, in my opinion. However, in this case, if I were on a jury and the judge said that I had to give a verdict today, I would have to say not guilty because they did not prove, in my opinion, reasonable doubt as of yesterday.
All right. I am loving this. Hold on. We got a real prosecutor in the chat, child. Shout out to my sis DG in the building. Hey, Aunt Debbie. Philly girl, I'm gonna get my thoughts on what you have to say. But we have guilty and not guilty. Guilty, bravo. Not guilty, Philly girl. I'm writing it down. Miss Island Duncan said, this is good. And I just said to DG, we just playing and having fun. But DG said, and we know this, as a prosecutor, let me add some context. This is week 1 of an 8-week trial. Jurors are advised to not draw any conclusions. We breaking those rules to DG throughout our whole discussion. So we're having fun in a sense of we just gonna do it that way, but we know they can't even, the jury, they shouldn't even be discussing this amongst each other.
Right.
They shouldn't be discussing this at home. I think that's a big mistake as well. That jury should have been, what's the word, child?
Sequestered.
That's crazy to me. A case like this and they not sequestered. But anyway, DG said jurors are advised to not draw any conclusion until all the evidence is presented. They have been advised of the law. DG also went on to say, and they are allowed to deliberate. Also, the government has to prove the indictment, not what the public believes are the trial issues. Rico, yes. Thank you for your expertise. We on YouTube, child. We on YouTube, and we are just going again. We're making this fun and this way, but legally, we absolutely agree with everything that you said. Let's see. But thank you, DG. Philly girl for life. I'm with you, sis. And we got Good Bad Apple up here, child. So we know that Good Bad Apple will give her thoughts as well. And then I'm gonna go back to some of the other testimony from yesterday. Not guilty for me as of right now, based off of what I heard in this entirety of this past week. Not just yesterday, but since the testimony started. I totally agree with you. This is why you have opposing lawyers. This is why you have prosecutors and defense attorneys. You know what I mean? Attorneys for the plaintiffs and attorneys for the defendants, because that whole back and forth is there for you to be able to come to a conclusion, to throw in a mix of things to make you say, well, wait a minute now. I felt this way yesterday, but now that I hear this, you know what I mean? And that's how I've been feeling, honestly. I'm not going to get too deep because, like I said, I believe that Cassie is a victim. And she absolutely went through hell with Diddy. It's people out here that's crazy because Cassie got that 20 million from Diddy, and she also got 10 million from the hotel. And she settled on that settlement a week or two before this trial started. And there's a lot of people out here. Look, money can't erase the pain. Money can't erase things that she went through. Rightfully so, she should have been paid from that hotel because they saw at that time what happened. They did not report it to the popos. I wouldn't give a damn if she said, please don't call them. They were supposed to. Rightfully so. But social media is social mediaing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
These differences of opinions. But I will say this, based off of her testimony this week, I believe a lot of it. And I'm just going to keep it real with you guys. I don't believe all of it. Because I do think that she got caught in the matrix, like you said, Philly girl, wanting to be that main girl. And for me, some of the things that she may have agreed to do was to please him to get that spot.
Yeah.
Saying that it warranted grape, not saying that it warranted him being controlling and beating her and all of that. But and she was caught up in that, you know what I mean? Played on her mind and all of that. But what they are saying, and I'm getting to you next, Good Bad Apple, his lawyers wanted to make it a point to show that, again, she was with other people on her own free will while she was still dating Diddy. So they made it a point to say, you left Ryan for Diddy. Diddy said that he thought that Kid Cudi would be a good look for you as far as helping you with your career and music. So he introduced her to Kid Cudi so he can be her producer or whatever the case may be. She started dating Kid Cudi. Then they mentioned the football player. Then they mentioned the trainer who is now her husband. So they was basically trying to say Cassie was just down for whatever child.
Well, it's almost like they were saying that she know better than him.
So,
Yeah, and that may all be true, but it doesn't change the fact where there are times where he forced her to do things,
right,
where they bringing people in from across state lines to participate
right,
in these FOs.
right. That's what.
Okay.
Hold on, Good Bad Apple, and that's what we'll get to as they get to it, Philly girl. I agree with you. So yeah, for me, as of right now, is not guilty. Danya, thank you so much, sis. I'm enjoying it too. Oh, I love this type of stuff. So I appreciate you, sis. Thank you for the super chat. Shout out to those of you that's watching. Please hit the like button. Good Bad Apple is here. Hey, Good Bad Apple.
Hey guys, how are y'all doing this evening?
Good.
How are
Hey,
you?
Good.
I'm good. I just wanted to say that Cassie is not a RICO witness. So her testimony isn't really there to establish like RICO activity. It's just to establish like a pattern and to like dictate or to um expose what kind of activities he was up to. The main thing about RICO, and let me just say, I'm not a lawyer, but I know plenty of people who have had to deal with the feds and particularly RICO charges. So I can tell you that usually they do not start with their strongest witness.
Yeah, we know that, child. It's
But
week.
right, but if they bringing you up for a RICO charge, keep in mind this is not the state. This is the feds. The feds don't come and get you until they've already got you.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Right.
guilty. He's going to be convicted of RICO
Okay,
because
we talking
what they
about.
need to be. Hmm?
I said we talking about this week, sis. We playing jury. We playing jury.
Okay.
No, but yeah. So we and this is the panel is the mock jury. But
Mock.
continue. Yeah, mock fake child. Continue with your testimony. I totally agree with you. It's week one, but I will say just insert, and I'm gonna let you go ahead and finish. If Cassie was not, and I get it, they want to show his character and all of that. But if she was not a witness, which a lot of people don't agree with, that's going to lead to, or that was, damn, I forgot my train of thought. As far as the whole RICO, what he's charged with, a lot of people was saying that she shouldn't have been called as a witness. But I get what you're saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, she needs to be called as a witness to establish certain patterns.
Uh-huh.
But he is not charged with SA. He is
Mm-hmm.
not charged with
DV.
anything that has to do with the things that she sued him for. He's charged with trafficking, both
Uh-huh.
drug and human. And what that entails is taking people across state lines for trafficking reasons
Mm-hmm.
and taking substances across state lines for trafficking or use reasons.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're going to establish.
Yeah.
But as far as what as Cassie goes, even just considering her testimony, I still say guilty.
Okay. All right.
Because he's not charged with SAing her or anything that, like I said, was any of the issues that she raised in her suit against him.
Okay, so let me stop you right there. If what we heard this week, as far as her testimony to you, didn't play into or prove yet, we talking about this week. We're not skipping ahead. I need you guys to get this in the frame of mind as we continue going on. So we are only talking about, and we are giving these fake votes for the testimony that we hear each week. So if you're saying that Cassie wasn't brought for that, Cassie didn't prove that, he hasn't been charged with SA and everything that went on with Cassie, I just want to know, how are you able to come to a guilty verdict just based off of what you just said? From what we heard this week, not next week, not last summer, not the indictment, not the charges. We just talking about what we heard this week.
Yeah, what we heard this week is the involvement of sex workers, ex-workers, being flown in, being transported in and out to wherever they were going. That's trafficking. That is textbook. That is textbook human trafficking.
Got you.
And that's illegal.
And the UGS.
Oh yeah, and that too. That too.
But let me throw a monkey wrench now. And y'all know I'm just playing every side, child. Prosecution, the defense. I don't know what I'm doing tonight, but it's what happened. They also made sure, I'm sure you probably know, bravo, Philly girl, you say you've been watching a couple people, good, bad, up. I'm sure that you were too. Hello, Crystal. Did you guys hear that? Because the defense made sure to point out that sometimes Cassie purchased the UGS, sometimes she said who she wanted to be there or called them to come and be there. Do you think that was under coercion, or do you think that, hey, I like what he did last time and I want him to come this time, so I'll call him? If so, she can't be charged. She's under immunity. But if she was bringing in people and all of that, do you guys think that that's also trafficking?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is. It was in service to him also. So
Yep.
yes, it was trafficking.
I think there was a lot of
Was it
lot of
under the direction of him though, or do you
yeah.
think at any point she made a conscious decision to bring these people in? Because I'm gonna say
Both.
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 Danya
Both.
said both. So why shouldn't both be charged?
Well, the
Because
government
she
does that
made a
all the
deal and he
time.
didn't.
Keep it plain, Philly girl. Keep it plain, witness sis. Go ahead. Good bad apple. Give me your thoughts. Then I'm gonna go to Bravo.
The government does that all the time.
We know that, sis.
It's called
But
a
is it
it's
right?
called an it's called an unindicted co-conspirator.
Uh-huh.
Unindicted co-conspirator.
That's not was and DG, the prosecutor, is here as well. DG, let me know. Do they have to advise Diddy's counsel, the judge, and everybody else that that's what she is, an unindicted co-conspirator, or is she just this star witness?
You can be both.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You can be both an unindicted co-conspirator and the star witness.
Okay. All right. Bravo, your thoughts. Good
They
point,
just
sir. That happened.
they just decided not to charge her.
Mm-hmm.
He's the bigger fish. She
Exactly.
was she was under contract with him.
Mm-hmm.
She was asked, "Well, why did you do that?" Because she was no longer being a up and coming rising
Star.
entertainer.
Mm-hmm.
Those FOs were now her job. That was her job.
Mm-hmm.
So they just decided not to charge her. And I mean, it kind of would look, it wouldn't help their case if they did.
Say that
Right,
Because,
one.
because she would be it because if they did charge her, if she was charged, then the defense could say that her testimony was influenced. But by her not being charged, she basically can say whatever.
Mm-hmm. I agree with
yeah,
all of that.
She has more credibility without the threat of jail time or whatever. And DG can elaborate on this, but she also could have been proffered. And that's a process that the government does
Mm-hmm.
where you have to sign an agreement with them to be a cooperating witness in
Mm-hmm.
exchange for immunity or witness protection or whatever it is that they offer you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure that the other unindicted co-conspirators have done just that because when there is a RICO case, there has to be co-conspirators,
Yeah.
whether they're charged with somebody or not,
Right.
because it's an
Understood.
organization.
Understood all
right.
of that. But if you were a part of that organization, if you were doing some of the same things that he's been charged with, and again, we are playing court tonight. I just don't think it's right. And I can't stand Diddy. I think he's in the right place and I think that he should remain there. But as far as me giving my thoughts on this trial so far, what we've seen, there's a lot of things. Whose comment? Lisa Love said, I wonder if Cassie was granted immunity. Some of the things she's saying sounds incriminating. It was a lot. And that's why I said Diddy, his attorneys did their job these past 2 days. Well, not her attorneys, but the prosecution starting off Monday and Tuesday, they did as well. And that's why we have court, guys. And I don't agree with, just me personally, I understand it. Look, watch all of the shows, okay? So you guys know that we can pick up on a lot of the things that happen in real life from watching a lot of the court shows, real life court shows. Child Scandal was real. I don't give a damn what nobody say. Scandal and the things that go on is real. For me, I don't like it. I do not like it. I don't agree with it. And I don't think, DG, let me know. And maybe you did. Okay, so DG, you did. Because I was going to say, can they let the jury know, look, she's an unindicted co-conspirator? Absolutely not. Because the jury going to say, what the hell? What the hell? I hate that damn song. But that's what they going to say. Wait a minute now. Unindicted, meaning she should have been. Co-conspirator, meaning she co-conspired with him. It's not a good look for me. But there were a lot of things that, and look, she was speaking her truth. She was speaking her truth. And, it is what it is. But as far as me, guilty. Who was that was about to talk? And then I'm going to read some comments.
Well, they do it with grand juries all the time. They have to let them know who is an unindicted co-conspirator.
Okay, let's see what DG say. DG, can they? Because if they did, the man gonna walk. Let's see. If she proffered her testimony prior to the trial, they have to also disclose that to the defense. The defense so the defense can use that in cross to show bias. Cassie's testimony is biased because she worked out a deal to not get charged, is what the defense may argue. Thank you so much. What does
they didn't?
If they didn't, they got to hold some things. So I don't know if they said that yet, but you guys, again, we in week 1. This should have been televised. Do you hear me? But I cannot wait. Good, bad apple. Let me say this to you, sis, and then we're going to read some comments. You the one that mentioned AI. You need to go through all of this testimony and create an AI figure that looks like Cassie and an AI figure that looks like the prosecution and the defense. And you need to do it for each witness. Do you realize how much damn money you can make?
I can't. I really wish I had time. I'm sitting up here right now doing my nephew's graduation invitation. I was so busy. I haven't been able to do nothing of with the YouTube channel. I wish I could.
All right. 60 seconds, Philly girl. Based off of what Good Bad Apple said, and then Bravo 60 seconds, and then we're gonna go through some more testimony.
I still the opera's over till the fat lady sings. In my opinion, she hasn't sang yet. If the judge said make a call today, I have to go with not guilty because the evidence haven't been proven with reasonable doubt that he's guilty of RICO. They just proved that he's a freak and she is too. So there you go.
All right. So we split. Bravo, your final thoughts on this?
Guilty.
All right.
I don't think that we need to. I don't think that we need to wait. Guilty. There's too many little things.
You're not a good jury member, child.
I'm not because I'm see the little things. Like for me, the big thing for me was how is he controlling these people to control her and keep her from leaving a hotel room for 10 days? That shows that, he is running an organization that is criminal.
Yeah, but you still jumping ahead because we haven't gotten exactly to that yet. But what the defense, and look, again, I respect everything you're saying, and you are right. Your verdict is absolutely right. Again, we're having fun. But what the defense also, I'm just trying to see, does it make anybody second guess? And, either you're able to, and this is how they pick people to be on the jury, either you're able to erase everything that you could have possibly heard in the past, and you are looking at everything and listening to everything with fresh eyes and ears. And they made it a good point to bring in doubt. But
But
I
those things were mentioned this week.
Doubt about what though?
doubt about what she testified to as far as these FOs and all of that. For instance, if you guys see right here, she said, you say, baby, I want an FO so bad. You were asking your direct and said you didn't want him to ruin your premiere. I mean, just as far, I'm just talking about the FO parts for me. And it's a lot of it where I think what Philly Girl just said, Cassie and Diddy were Frizniks. And that's not abnormal. And I'm just saying, based off of what went on this week, that video is enough for me that his ass should have been charged with DV a long time ago. That was disgusting. And I am a woman that has gone through DV. Okay. But as far as the FOs and like you said, the trafficking, a lot of times she was looking on Craigslist. She was calling this. She was going to the X stores. They even made sure to talk about that at some point she was going to get her D-Rugs on her own. You know what I mean? So look, I'm just going to say for me as of right now, I don't think that he forced her to do everything. Do I think that mind play and all of that could have come in? I did at first, but now knowing that some of these activities allegedly went on with Ryan Leslie and all of that, I don't know if she got this sexual hunger and desire from Diddy.
Well, I mean, she was an addict. And I mean, for me, you can throw out all the free FOs and all that stuff. To me, what I'm looking at are what was mentioned of his actions during that time and what kind of influence he used. And that was mentioned, and I'm going off of this week. And that was mentioned, and that was said, and that was brought into testimony of his actions and what kind of influence and coercion he did. See, to me, honestly, and if you want me to get it out there, the Cassie testimony, the majority of it is a distraction from a lot of the key elements that were mentioned this week. And for me, I think the prosecution should have maybe honed on that for a little bit more or in more detail, because that to me, and this is in my opinion, is the RICO. Because when you bring in you using money and trafficking for influence and power and stuff like that, you're bringing in the RICO. And this all this stuff, the defense was asking her about the relationship and did you love him, were you jealous of so and so. It matters not. What matters to me is what was he doing to influence, control, and monitor these situations that were illegal, and those were brought up this week.
All right. We standing on business. It's 2-2. It's split down the middle. Look, I think by the end of this, I hope, because that's what jurors must try to do. Hopefully, as we hear more, and we're going to hear a little bit more, but hopefully when we start to hear more and learn more and put things together, and we able to say, oh, now I remember week 1, this was said, and now this part makes sense because look what he just said. You know what I mean? At the end, you want everybody to be on the same page. So again, this is all in jest, all in us just having us a little fun on YouTube.
Yeah, and let me just say, the way we're thinking about it is not how it works. Cassie is not the one on trial.
We know
So
that.
when we think about whatever it is that she said that was incriminating or whatever, that has no bearing on his
It
charges.
does. Absolutely it does. Because look, I'm my own person with my own man. You your own person with your own man.
Right, but hold on.
Hold on. Philly her own person, Bravo her own person. We make up the jury. So you can't say that what I feel or how I took this and put it together. Yes, when we go into deliberation, we'll all come together and try to get to the same point. But that's the purpose of a jury. Everybody is not. That's why the defense say, I don't want that person on the jury. That's why the prosecution say, oh no, I don't want her, because they ask you these questions to see where your mind is. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. But what we're saying about her testimony and whether we believe her testimony about whether she was, you know, a willing participant or whether she was not, doing things under duress, the
Uh-huh.
charges, the charges are that Mr. Combs participated in or directed
Mm-hmm.
the
Absolutely.
um, use of S workers and the use of
Yeah.
substances, and that, and it's pretty evident that even if she ended up liking it, but that at first she was coerced to do it, and she was, you
Uh,
know, afraid of, for different reasons that she had to do it.
okay.
And that, that's how things started. But the
Yeah.
activity was that you're bringing in these humans and these substances illegally. And
Right.
there, and he provided the entire network to do so. All the
Right.
resources,
Th-
all the resources and the network belonged to him.
All
Mm-hmm.
right. Well, join me as we continue, and I'm sure we'll get into more of that. So
And for
again, I
me as
respect
a juror, if I was sitting there,
you said
it's
guilty.
been proven to me that he
Okay.
did bring in.
Yeah. Yeah. We know good, bad apple. Look, again, you guys, it's 2-2. So I respect everything that you said, and hopefully you guys respect the differences of opinions. We are,
Absolutely.
yeah, we are in week one. We are in week one, and I stated my position before this trial even happened, that his ass is guilty. But what I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to do is give my thoughts week to week on what we see and what we read. That's it. You know what I mean? But excellent points to all of you guys. Let me read a couple comments, and then we're gonna get to this last part. I gotta scroll up. Let's see. Okay, overcomer. I agree. Yeah, a lot of us just we don't get down like that. But look, maybe somebody in the chat do. I don't want to judge. I listen and I don't judge. She did say that she felt like it was a job. Um,
Mm-hmm.
said, and Cassie hated Kim, so stay woke. Teresa said Cassie and Diddy ran that organization. DG said we'll bring it all together by the end of the government's case. Yes, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So, like I said, this is week one,
Nice.
and it's already explosive. Look at us tonight. It's already explosive.
But
But
it's in love with us. It's in love. They going off out there. I don't read half that mess. They are fighting. Uh-uh.
who, Bravo?
On the social media, they are going, some of these people are going back and forth. One
Yeah,
person
well,
was like, F you, and I said, oh, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out.
yeah,
Y'all
look,
going, you
prepare.
doing too much.
Right. Prepare all of you guys if you are looking around. Prepare yourself again to get differences of opinions. If they get
Yes.
disrespectful, I would do the same thing that you did, exit out the building. But for me, I am able to look at these different content creators where they are offering their perspective of what they heard and giving their commentary on it. And I
Exactly.
think, again, Pam Esquire is a real attorney, and at this point, it seems like she was on the line of some of this stuff was done together. You know what I mean? Thank you, DG. That's my whole goal. DG said the panel is actually working like juries are supposed to. Consider what the evidence means and how to apply the law to it. That's all we doing, guys. That's all. Deborah Randall said, ain't no law against being a freak, child. DG said, DG, DG said we don't know what he told her to get her to do some of these things, i.e. the yeah, it was a lot of intimidation. And again, we know Diddy. Diddy not only was beating her ass, other women as well, and men. That power and control. So, as we continue, like I said, next week I'll probably be like, guilty. The week after that, not guilty. That's the whole purpose of a trial. Let's see. Diddy had the monetary resources, the staff, etc. Cassie was a part of it as both his girlfriend as well as setting up some of them FOs. She did set them up. It is in the testimony. She set up a lot of them. And look, they ex-life, they business. She enjoyed a lot of them. Do I think that she enjoyed getting them paws put on her? Absolutely not. But I also think that unfortunately, a lot of younger women and women in general, and Pam Esquire made a good point today. She said, look, just because Cassie was 22 at the time that she met Diddy, that don't mean that she wasn't experienced in life. That also don't mean that she couldn't fall for the games and the tricks. She then compared it to Shirley Strawberry and Nasty Nesto. Shirley was 60 years old and she let Nasty Nesto run game on her. You know what I mean? So unknowingly or whatever the case may be, it happens, So yeah, that age thing really doesn't play a part. She said that just to say you could believe in a person. And I do think that Cassie believed a lot, but Cassie also saw a lot. And I don't think that Diddy only went over there back Kim's on Christmas and Thanksgiving. I think that she went into that situation knowing back Kim. I think all while she was with him, she knew about Kim. It shows the control that he had over Kim because Kim didn't date either. I also think that he played a part in Kim's death. That's just me. But as young women and women in general, sometimes you feel like I want him so bad that I'm not ever saying getting paws put on you. And like Philly Girl said, I wouldn't give a damn if I did 100 FOs. If I say no, that means no. But I think that she involved herself in his lifestyle and based on trying to be, out of her own words, his main girl. You know what I mean? I just feel that way. But let's see. A couple more and we're going to get to some more. In my opinion, Diddy should be charged 100% for the AB use of Cassie, but all that other stuff, I believe they enjoyed. All right, Teresa. I heard that the statute of limitations has passed, and that's why he can't be charged with the DV when it comes to her. And yeah, I still feel some type of way about an unindicted co-conspirator. This is the reason jury members are not allowed to discuss the case with each other. Yeah, but we're not on the jury, child. We're just having fun. I'm curious to know if the jury is allowed to take notes. They aren't allowed in SC, South Carolina, to do so for the most part because they missed stuff trying to write down what was said. Interesting. So they just expect them to be able to retain all of this information, DG? Good point. The defense is doing their job by poking holes in her testimony and showing her bias. They are creating doubt that the jury can decide on. And that's all that it is. And look, they poked, and it made me say, now, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. You know what I mean? For this week. Okay? So I'll read a couple more, but let's go through some of this from yesterday. Let's see if I can get down to some of the parts. Let's see. Real quickly, this is fun. I can't wait till next Saturday. Throughout the week, I may be playing some of the footage of them coming to court and all of that stuff. But Saturday nights, you guys put your notifications on and we will be doing exactly what we're doing. I hope we get more people to click the link so we can have more on the panel because this panel tonight is on fire. You hear me? Let's see. Let me go back up. Who is that, child? Let's see. So Cassie's trying to talk to her civil attorney The victim witness talking to their lawyers, even during their cross-examination, is not prohibited. Also, they let Cassie talk to her lawyer while they were in court. And according to that guy, it's not prohibited. This was an explicit message from you about the anticipated upcoming. I think we read that. July 22, you say, Mr. Combs, I'm horny. This was after FO. She said, yes. You remember. Okay, let me go to one other page. Was it this one? Let me just put Diddy in here. It should bring up. I think it was Diddy Daily. Oh no, she wasn't. All right. I guess I'll ask you guys because I'm sure you guys have heard. Well, let me do something else. Hold on. Because I don't want you guys to think that. Number one, again, I don't believe all of Cassie. I absolutely do. I know what I synced in my Moses voice, all of the above. But the fence did their job for me. But let me bring up a couple messages real quick. Comments from the trial. Hold on one second. Let's see. Okay, let's bring this one up. All right, and oh no, Hollywood Unlocked had more. Hold on, guys. Give me 60 seconds. Let me go to Hollywood Unlocked. I think it was Hollywood Unlocked. Oh, let me go to my messages. I sent it to myself. Here you go. Okay. This is the last one I'm going to go through. If it's repeat of any information that we already talked about, next week I will have it in order. I also have, let me stop this. Let me bring this up to you guys. So I'm also keeping some information on a Word doc. I have links. I have all of that. This is not the one. It's another page. But we'll have more next week. All right, but let me bring up this and then we'll give our final thoughts. Shout out to each and every one of you. Hit the like button for me if you don't mind. And let's go ahead and look at some more of the testimony from yesterday. And then I will, what is this? Oh, I didn't even know it showed that. Hold on, I don't know what I clicked, child. It showed something that the moderator did. Yeah, let's go. Let's see. Cassie was testifying about other women that Diddy spent time with while the two of them were dating. She testified that she had some jealousy of Miss Porter, Kim Porter, who shared 3 children with Combs. And Kim Porter did unfortunately pass away in 2018. Ventura confirmed, I'm going to say Cassie, child. Cassie confirmed that it would upset her when Combs would spend holidays with his family and Porter, even though the two were no longer in a romantic relationship. Cassie also testified that she learned Combs was spending time with a woman called Gina. Gina was supposed to be a witness. Well, I don't think Gina is going to be involved in this. I think Gina got paid off. But she said, I was really upset. Cassie said, she said Combs denied the relationship to an extent, but added that she and Combs argued multiple times about him getting back with Gina. So she was upset that he was with Gina. And again, if you guys have never seen Gina, go and look at the Tasha K interview with her and Gina. And Gina did say that she was ABU'd by Diddy. He kicked her downstairs and everything. Cassie said she and Combs also argued about other women. She said that he was suspicious that she was romantically involved with other men. Let's see if this is on this page. No. So Diddy's lawyer said, you wanted to be the main girlfriend? She said in 2013, yes. They asked, you saw social media posts of Mr. Combs with other girlfriends and got angry, right? She said, can I speak? I was jealous of certain situations. They said, attorneys, Mr. Combs wrote, surprise package coming from out of state. Why can't I reach you? What do you say? She said, I was getting my brows done. Attorney said, did you come to know Mr. Combs was leaving the F-offs to go see Kim Porter? She said yes. And I'll say this. I think that it came a point in Cassie's mind where she really realized what she was to Diddy. And what she was to Diddy was his ex toy, in a sense. You know what I mean? That would hurt any woman. But although she was seen in public with him and all of that, she never did get that spot that she wanted because he never stopped being with other women. His attorney asked, how did you find out about Gina? How did you feel? Did it upset you? She said yes. It prompted arguments. It did. And he thought you were not faithful. What were his reactions? She said it was scary. Attorney, if you saw him on social media on vacation it was heartbreaking. She said it could be. I was 7 years in. Attorneys, and what about this, about Gina? You wrote, I don't want to be a side piece, but I'll treat you as a king. They say you wanted to be the main girlfriend. She said yes. Okay, so we saw that. They said, did there come a time he suspected you were in a relationship with someone in the industry, Mr. Mescudi? She said yes. Mr. Combs thought it could be good for your career if you collaborated with Mr. Mescudi. She said yes. They say, Mr. Combs, okay, I read that part. They said, why did you begin your relationship with Mr. Kid Cudi, child shit? Cassie said we enjoyed each other's company. They said you were in a relationship with Mr. Combs. She said we were on a break. His attorney said, but you were still doing F-offs with him? She said yes. His attorney said, after Mr. Combs found out by going through your phone, you went to see him. You knew he was upset. He previously attacked you. She said, yes, I thought I'd be safer with other people there. The judge says, okay, so they took a break. The judge said, let's get Cassie back. The jury entered and his attorneys continued. Your affair with Mr. Cudi was only a month long, but you got a burner phone for it. She said, right. They said, Mr. Combs kicked you in the back? She said, yes. They asked, this came up later in your relationship that you had cheated on him with Kid Cudi. She said he brought it up quite a bit. They said when he cheated, he said, well, you had an affair with Kid Cudi, right? She admitted and said, yes, sometimes. A couple more and we gonna get to the panel and chat. They said he suspected you of having an affair with another person in the industry. You were in South Africa filming? She said, yes, honey 3. While you were there, you saw a photo of Mr. Combs with Gina and were irate, right? She said angry. They said you blocked him and focused on the movie, right? She said, I tried my best. Mr. Combs suspected you of a relationship with whom? She said, Michael B. Jordan. They then say you sent a video not only to Mr. Combs, but also to his staff. Who? D-Rock? She said, yes. They said you sent it to them because you were angry with all of them. She said, I was hurt. I spent all my time with them. His attorney said you thought they were in on it. Then they go into why were you asleep? She claimed that a drink that she had at the Abbey Hotel had something in it. And Monique, what's her name? Moniece, Lil Fizz's baby mama. She's all in the comments somewhere saying, oh my goodness. They finally found out that people that work at the Abbey are drugging people, which is crazy. But anyway, so she confirmed that a drink at the Abbey has something in it, I think. They asked, did Mr. Combs ever use you while he was drunk? Then say he didn't remember it? She said yes. This is where I feel like the prosecution, for Philly Girl? All right, I just looked at my phone. This is where I feel like the prosecution probably should have worked with her a little more because mark my words, the defense is going to say this man was a drug addict, a drunk, a this, or that. And she admitted right here, which one is this? that he did used to tell her he didn't remember some of the things that he did. It's a crock of shit to me. But she admitted it. Did you feel he was not taking responsibility? She said yes. They said for drugs, you both for drugs, did both of you go to rehab? She said rehab wasn't really a thing during our relationship. They asked the FOs were an opportunity for you to take drugs together. She said yes. Then they asked her, did you go to Burning Man, which is a festival? She said yes. They asked, did you ever call yourselves get high partners? Again, defense doing their thing. Cassie said yes. She said we used to call each other get high partners. So was it because she was high and he gave her the drugs that they said this or not? Did you take drugs from him? Did you take drugs from him without him knowing it? She said yes. They asked what was his reaction. She said explosives. Did he tell the LA dealers not to deal to you? She said yes. As weird as this may seem, because I do think that they did participate in doing drugs together and separately. And this is just my opinion. He didn't want those LA dealers to deal to her because he probably felt like he trusted his people to not, you guys know with the drugs, they can add stuff on it. You don't know what you're smoking. So I think me, just hearing that part, I think that he just wanted her to do them with what he provided, which may not be good for him. Anyway, the attorney said, you told Miss Quorum that you learned only after the fact that Mr. Combs had dangled Miss Bogelin off the balcony. What a monster. She said, I'm not sure. They asked, you were on drugs? And she said, I'm not sure. They asked, you got a life coach for your drug use, according to this document. She said, I don't know who that person is. They said, you were doing a lot of drugs? And she said, it was a rough time. They said, attorneys, you tried to get into rehab, the Golden Door. She said it was a spa. There was a time I lost all sense of smell and taste and woke up in the hospital with an IV in my arm. I tried then to get help. That's so sad. They said the time after San Bernardino, you learned that Diddy had overdosed. She said, yes, a very strong opiate. Yes. They said, were you ever not addicted to painkillers? And somebody in the chat let me know because I don't know what this is. But she said, we took ibogaine. I don't know what that is. They asked her, where did you get it? She said, Cancun, Mexico, separately. So I guess she got ibogaine in Mexico and then he got it. Couple more slides. That's it. Let's see. They said when Mr. Combs threw you off the boat in Canes, however y'all pronounce it, when he accused you of taking drugs and squeezed your leg, she said, among other things. They said, but you still wanted to be with him? She said, I did. So again, the mind control of a powerful, powerful man. I'm not blaming Cassie for that, but I'm standing on what I standing on. Bravo, give me your thoughts. After Bravo, Good Bad Apple. Philly Girl, you're going to take me home. Before you guys leave, we'll read a couple comments from the chat as well. But shout out to you guys. We're over 2 hours. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. All right.
Wow. What I caught in there was his defense was not denying that he abused her. AB used her.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty sick listening to that. A person going through that, they don't have a set standard of how they're supposed to behave, how they're supposed to love, hate, be jealous, be concerned about themselves and everything. They're just picked one goal. And to me, her one goal was, since I'm doing all this, I should be the number one chick. On the case itself, for me this week, there was evidence of the RICO, um, and that's why I was like guilty. I kind of disregarded a lot of the defense questioning
Mm-hmm.
because to me, there were other elements that just pointed to the RICO to me. I pray for her. I am extremely proud of her for sitting up there to go through that. It
Mm-hmm.
takes a lot of strength. And um, my God, just my God. I'm glad she's moved on. I don't care if she was still, when she first started seeing her husband, she did go to rehab after while she was with him and all that and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And so there were a lot of things that went on in her life for a decade
Yeah.
that, you know, it could be nitpicked and it can be saying that you said you loved him and you said you did. She probably did all of that. It still was a horrible, dark situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wish her the best. And just listening to that part and catching that the defense saying he kicked you in your back and
Yeah.
you still went back. I'm like, what? You know, she's a better woman than me because I'd have been like, oh, so you are saying that he kicked me, so you know that he kicked me in my back. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Mhm.
it's dirty work. It's dirty work to be a
All right.
defense attorney for a monster.
Yes, ma'am. And I felt that way about a lot of these defense attorneys. They know their client is guilty most times, but they're doing their
Hmm.
job. Excellent points, Bravo.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sis. Um, good, bad apple. Your thoughts?
Well, it just made me more sad for her
That's sad.
because it's definitely a picture. It shows you a picture of what it's like when somebody legit has Stockholm syndrome. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, and it kind of brought up some memories of some personal experiences
Oh, sis.
Oh.
that I laugh about now. It's not a laughing matter, but it's, I
Mm-hmm.
can I can think back on some things
Yeah.
and yeah, kind of identify with her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there again, it shows me his guilt
Okay.
because again, that was something that crossed my mind that I thought about earlier when we were listening, Bravo, that you just mentioned that I thought about, but I didn't actually, I forgot to say it, was that his defense does not deny anything that is being um, said
As
that he
far as
did.
ABUs, right. They're not denying
Yeah.
anything as far as ABUs because they know he's not on trial for that.
Right. They're not denying the bringing in the transporting of ex workers either.
Mm-mm.
They haven't denied that either.
Hmm.
They haven't denied really any of the things that he has been charged for.
Yeah, well, they haven't
Um,
gotten to a lot of it yet. They did touch on some of it this week. And like I said, you know that these weeks to come with all these other witnesses, there's going to be more where the prosecution going to have they shit down pat and the defense is going to do what they do too. So, yeah, we got a lot to see that's coming. Go ahead, good bad apple.
yeah, I'm just saying they haven't, when she was talking about them bringing in the drugs and you know things of that nature, they didn't deny that either. So that's why I'm still on guilty. But yeah, it just showed her mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I can totally understand it because actually I've been there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see how you could do some things because yeah, um,
Child, for love.
for
For what
love, for
is love.
love. I took some penitentiary chances for love myself.
Child.
So I'm not gonna get into. I really should.
We do that in members only child Patreon. Don't say that on YouTube so you can everybody be talking. You'll have your name be in titles tomorrow. Don't do it, sis. Wait till we up.
Yeah, but I'm saying I can identify. I can see when she was describing her actions. I can definitely see her doing that,
Yeah.
and it's sad because, once you have sunk down to that level, it takes a lot to climb your way out of.
Get up out of it, baby. Absolutely. Look, DG just said this. She said she also has been in counseling and can recognize it now. Whereas as a 22-year-old, she probably didn't recognize as such. And as you just said, good, bad apple, I've been there. I think a lot of women, definitely not to this extent, because I was never to this extent. But I think a lot of us have done some things to please our man, make him happy, want him to stay with us, and all of that. And yeah, as we get older, as we mature, as we really start looking at things for what it is, we realize, yeah, no, I don't have to do this. But I think a lot of women have gone through, and maybe some men as well, when it comes to women, some level of, damn, is it coercion? Can we go back and charge these Negroes from our past, child? It was coercion.
Right.
Your Honor, lock his ass up.
Lock his ass up.
Yeah, just to make light of that, and good bad apple. I'm praying for you. As far as what you've gone through, you've already let us know as far as the therapy and the things that you've done in your life. And I just want to say kudos to you. It's a lot of Cassies out here. It's a lot of Cassies out here, and I do recognize both sides agreeing to some shit, but it wasn't at our level, good bad apple. We agreed to some shit to keep our men or please our men, or oh my God, I don't want him to have somebody else, so I'll go ahead and do this or do that. Multiply that shit by a million when it comes to the men. The power that Diddy had, the money that Diddy had, the reputation that Diddy had. And she got caught up in that, again, that matrix of, damn, all of what this entails. So I believe Cassie, don't get me wrong, but again, for me, I'm still standing on not guilty. Philly girl for life, your final thoughts, sis?
I wanted to, you mentioned about ibogaine, and so I looked it up, and they say it's a substance that is used for substance abuse, and the cost is like $5,000 to $15,000 for this, and to go to a treatment center. It's coming up on the chat now.
Yeah, I just highlighted it.
But yeah, so if that's what they use, and they say it's for, I don't know if I can mention some of these things on, but it's those
just
drugs that are real serious. Let's just put it that way.
The hard ones.
The hard ones.
Okay,
yeah.
So that makes sense as to why his attorneys asked her that. Because if it is a YouTube, if you just do it, you're going to do it. If it is a drug that's used to treat addiction, and she admitted that they both went to Cancun, Mexico at different times to get it, that means what they're trying to say is the man was a drug addict. Again, thank you for looking it up. What's your final thoughts, Philly?
I mean, I still, feel the same. The jury is still out. We don't have enough, information. So if we had to, give a score, defense 1, prosecution 0, at least of this week. But it ain't over until it's over. What we learned about this young lady, how she got to getting involved in this, who knows if anything happened in her young life. Was she ABU'd, which, made her actually promiscuous? We don't know. But now here she is. What is she, in her 30s now?
Yeah.
Is she in her 30s now?
Yeah.
Well, she has at least, I don't know, early mid 30s, but whatever. But, she's got 2 little girls. And so
38.
Yeah. So, it's just sad because no matter what and how far she comes, you still have that memory. I mean, as we just mentioned, I thank God that social media wasn't around when I was in my 20s, because we did some stupid stuff.
Yes, man.
And there, by the grace of God, go I. So, not passing any judgment on her. I just think it's sad that women don't love themselves enough and
Mm-hmm.
put themselves in these predicaments. And so this is going to be a long 8 weeks
It
for
is.
this trial. I don't know. It's either going to get even more sensational, or
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
going to get boring, because I mean, what else could we learn? God only knows that they must. My husband worked for the government, and he did investigations, and he
Mhm.
said that with, state, they arrest you, then they look for the evidence. With the feds, they come with the evidence first
They
before they
come
ever
with it.
even arrest you.
Absolutely.
And
Uh,
so,
go ahead.
they got, the prosecution has some stuff, and
Yeah.
I mean, she's just low hanging fruit, but he was the get. He is
Mm-hmm.
the one that they want, and I'm sure they have some evidence. Now they just got to do a good job in making sure that they present it so that the jury comes back with the guilty verdict.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I agree with you. Good, bad apple. And thank you, DG. DG came in. She's leaving. Have a good night, sis. And I hope I see you tomorrow on Patreon as well. But thank you for everything as far as you offering your professional thoughts. DG also said being under the influence of drugs doesn't excuse criminal behavior, though. Yes, and I agree with that. But that's what that defense, look, Philly girl, I don't think that this going to get boring by any means, because they have to come with it for him. And I just hope that the prosecution got all they ducks in a row. This man got 9 or 10 attorneys. They did say that his cost for the attorneys is $10 million. They gonna get grimy.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it's going to get nasty,
yeah,
and they're doing their job. I mean, that's what
they're doing
defense
their job.
attorneys do.
Yeah,
Some of them don't even like their clients, but
yes,
they're being paid to defend them,
yes.
and because that's what our laws in the U.S. said, that everybody
Yeah,
def- uh, is entitled to a defense, and they're
yeah,
doing that job. You can't hate them for that. I mean, we
yeah.
don't like him. He's in my opinion, the devil incarnate. But does he deserve a good defense? Absolutely,
Look, we
and
all
he's got the
deserve.
money to buy it. So there you go.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody in the chat said, I hope this don't turn out being a hung jury or a mistrial.
Oh
Again,
God, yes.
we are in week 1. And I just don't know. Look, tonight we showed, and this is weird. I want to say this first. All I put in is how old is Cassie? Why they bring up all the men Cassie been with?
Wow.
Cassie 38, Diddy 55, Ryan Leslie 46, Kid Cudi 41. Now, why would they put that a part of her Google?
Disgusting.
You know,
And but that speaks volumes also about. And I know some women like older men,
mm-hmm.
but she started off in her 20s dating these older men. I think that speaks volumes
Somebody
to
got
me.
a TV on. Somebody got a TV on. A lot of it is culture. Somebody got a TV on. I've been in the fucking school. Okay.
But but the one thing I'm also concerned about, A hung jury, and B, of course, if Diddy is found guilty, being mindful of the defense is probably making sure they're taking all kind of notes so that they can file for an appeal.
Oh, they
That's
definitely.
what they do immediately.
Yeah,
And
they.
perhaps some of the things that the prosecution is doing will give them the
Well, look,
ability to be able to do that.
they already working on that. That was already mentioned, because the prosecution and the judge allowed for a time limit to be on Cassie's cross-examination. So
Yeah, there you go.
the prosecution rested their case with Cassie, I think Tuesday. And she then was, the defense attorneys started questioning her mid-afternoon, I believe Wednesday. The prosecution demanded, because she's pregnant, she can only testify to Friday. They will appeal, and they've already said that they will based off of that, because the judge made sure that they stuck to that. And a lot of people felt like, look, now that's not right. If they have more questions, if they wanted to ask this or that, they should have been given that time. So,
That's
yeah,
I'm not trying. That's not odd for a time limit to be put on
it doesn't
testimony.
matter if it's odd or not. Is it right? Who's to say why should I have to have 10 hours to get all of my stuff in there? Naturally is allowed, because the judge made sure that they followed that, but it's also, Bravo, grounds for an appeal.
And listen, the defense was savvy enough to drag it out so that they can argue that they needed more
For
time. Could
sure.
they have finished in that time frame? Yeah, but they're being strategic because
Yeah.
that's what they're being paid to do. So they're
Yeah.
thinking, okay, we're going to work so that you get, not guilty. But we are also preparing for that guilty to come back with the.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, that's how the game is played.
Yeah, it's not the end of it either way, as far as whatever the decision is at the end, because I do think if he's found not guilty, more lawsuits are to come. I don't know if more charges will come. I think that as far as federal, they supposed to have everything in there, but they did say that state charges could come after this as well. I don't know. But this was fun. If you guys have been looking at the comment section, Niecy Smith said, great panel tonight. And child, as it stands right now, Philly girl, they will hang us because it'll be because of us. And I vote tonight. That Diddy gonna walk. Philly girl,
No,
I gotta come back,
it's
Philly
only the
girl.
first week. No,
They gonna hang us, Philly girl.
No,
no.
we're going to sway them. We're going to bring them over to our side.
Yeah,
We're
we
going to
gonna
bring them over to our side.
once we get to our deliberations, we gonna have us a final deliberations too, child. But we're gonna try to get them on our side. Right now, Philly girl, we would need bodyguards and everything, right?
Everything.
Lord.
Witness protection.
Yeah, girl, look, please move me to Cancun. Whatever.
Child.
Because people gonna be after us. So as of right now, me and Philly girl say not guilty, good, bad, apple, and Bravo wasn't having it. They say F all of that. Guilty. Period. So this was fun. I do hope, because you guys are two of my favorite debaters. Well, all of you guys. Me and Philly girls like me and Neva P. A lot of us just be thinking alike like a majority of the time. But Good, Bad, Apple, and Bravo is two of my good debaters, child.
But
They
it's
always,
good to have the difference of opinion because it makes it fun. If
Yeah.
we all thought the same, then I mean, it
yeah,
would still be fun. But this gives us all food for thought.
it
It
does.
does.
They be giving me a hard time, Philly girl.
That's not nice.
No,
I
we
got
love you.
y'all. Stop. Behave.
See, that's what I'm going to hear. You know I'm a spoiled brat child. I just wanted that Philly girl. But this was fun. I hope to see you ladies again next Saturday. We'll be over here at we started at 6 my time, so 8 Central. Shout out to the chat. I hate that I didn't get to a lot of you all's comments, but I will say, even in the comments, I saw some guilties and I saw some not guilties. Teresa on our side too. This is just this week. So I think they bringing it next week, and I can't wait to see where we are next Saturday. But yes, love my mama. Look, I told you guys this pivoting that I've been doing with it, and that comes with smaller audiences at first. I enjoy it because I'm able to see more. I'm able to talk about things more, and this was absolutely fun. So thank you, love my mama, for being here. And Mrs. Island Duncan said, this is how it's supposed to be. Agree to disagree and be respectful. Yes.
Absolutely.
So this was fun. Poll the chat. Teresa. Okay, let's do this before we go, guys, because I do have this live up on my desktop. Let me make a quick poll. Start a poll. Hold on. Somebody said I was typing like Tyler Perry or somebody earlier. Was it you, Bravo?
No, but yeah, you were. That serious typing. My daughter does that when she's trying to make a point.
I be tearing these keys up on this keyboard.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. Let me put yes. Hold on. And then I got to put my commas and all of that. It's like, girl, just put this stuff in this chat. Okay, let's see. From this week's testimony, do you think Diddy is, hold on. And I got to put the doggone question mark at the end. All right, the poll is there. You guys should see the poll. Let me know if it popped up on your end. Let's see. You guys see it on the panel?
Not
I can't
yet.
open YouTube on my phone.
Um,
The
let,
app won't.
I don't
So if
see it
I'm
yet.
on StreamYard, I can't open both of them at the same time.
okay, we probably won't be able to do it, Teresa. So what I'll do, we'll do it next week before we start. I did it, but I don't see it either. And I
I
have
don't
my
see it.
desktop
Me
open.
neither.
Yeah, that's weird. Bummer. Let me scroll and see if it's at the top by chance.
Yeah, I did. I don't see it. I'm on my phone and on my iPad.
I see it. Hold on, let me pin it. Oh no, that's a end poll. So maybe you can only see it on if you're on a desktop or something like that. I have some votes. Somebody said, well, we have 100% no, not guilty. So I don't know who voted. But that's what I see on my screen right here. It's weird. Let me see if I could pull this down a little bit because there's something scrolling under there and I can't see what it is. I don't know, but it's there. But if I click the little three dots at the end, that just tells me to end the poll. I'm going to end the poll, but I'll make sure to start one in the chat before we start next week. Shout out to Mrs. Island Duncan. Thank you so very much for the super sticker. Shout out to Danya. Love you, love you, love you, Danya. Praying for you, sis. Great live tonight. Definitely enjoying it. And Kathy Johns have been a member for 20 months. Kathy loves it here, and I love you. Thank you, ladies, so much. Shout out to the new Cutie Crew members. We had Bertha something, child. Is it up here? Bertha Nunn and Reen Baz. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Also, thank you, Tyra. Tyra gifted a membership. I think, was it Mickey BB? Somebody was gifted a membership. Thank you, Tyra. Thank you for that. Tyra, you know I'm praying for you as well. Sending out
Amen.
big hug to you, praying for Papa Tyra. I'm glad to see you just in the chat conversing tonight. And you know we'll be in touch. Prayers going up. If you guys can also keep Tyra and her family in your prayers, Danya in your prayers, Aunt Debbie in your prayers, all of us, Philly girl, comes to her mom, all of us. Pray for each other. I'm also thinking about doing a segment. Did I write the name down earlier, child? It's going to have something to do with Sister Support Sunday. Sister Support Sundays. So I need to coordinate a time where we'll come together as women on Sundays after everybody is out of church and we can support each other. That's going to be open to those that's on YouTube. You just do not have to be a Cutie Crew member. But Cutie Crew, you guys know we do our support and our members only and all of that. So but I thank you again. Let me get this off my screen. Shout out to Bravo. Shout out to Good Bad Apple. And shout out to Philly Girl for Life. Will you guys be back next week?
Um,
Get on up.
I think so. I think so because I
Oh,
have
okay.
another event, but they end early enough. So
Oh, okay. I thought your arm was because of our back and forth tonight. I was about to say, get out of here,
get
Bravo.
out of here.
Yeah, God willing, and the creek don't rise. I'll be
No,
here.
Yes, yes, yes. What about you, Good Bad Apple? Good Bad
Uh-oh.
Apple right over there cooking, child. Good Bad
No, I'm still working on my nephew's invitations.
Oh, and congratulations to your nephew. High school
Yes.
graduation.
Yes.
Nice,
Yes,
nice,
yes, yes.
amazing. Tell him great
Thank
job.
you. Thank you. I
Mm-hmm.
will.
All
Quick
right.
Um,
chit
yeah,
Well,
chat.
I should be here. I
okay.
should be here, yeah.
I enjoyed
Yeah.
it. I enjoyed you guys. And those of you in the chat, feel free to hit the link. Y'all know it's about 12 different jurors. Come on up here. Philly girl, you was gonna say something, sis?
Is it raining over your way? It rained here a little bit ago.
Child, did it rain? Let me look
It
out.
stormed all
It's
day
dark.
today.
It's dark. I don't see. I'm peeking out this window, but it's dark. I really can't tell. But it's been windy all day.
Yeah, yeah. It might be working its way over to you because it was further north earlier, and then I heard the pitter patter on the window. So it
Mhm.
might be working its way over your way.
It is. I just opened up my app and it says light rain forecasted for the next hour. So it's headed
Mm.
my way. Oh shoot. Well, I'm gonna
Because
look.
it's
Philly
been
girl
storming here for the last like 3 days or so.
has it.
Wow.
Yeah.
My goodness. Did you guys hear about that? Was it a tornado that hit Missouri?
Yeah.
It hit
Yeah, it just killed
St. Louis, the
22 people.
devastation.
The devastation.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I had to.
Sunny has been posting a lot of pictures of it. And then another one in Kentucky I saw today. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh my.
Yeah. So everybody.
And Florida has been close to 100 degrees, so
Mm-hmm.
been in the
Mm-hmm.
upper
Really?
90s. Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Oh,
Chit Chat and I are just waiting for our heat.
that's what
So
I said, girl. Look, you are going to get zero complaints from me, baby. Let the rain continue, let the wind continue. That compared to 115, 120, I'm good.
Right. So,
You know,
yeah.
I'll take it.
We
Because
have no complaints here, so.
yeah, yeah. Congratulations,
I'm
Teresa.
telling you.
Did you go to a casino or did you go to well, you guys where you live, you guys don't have like we have child in gas stations and grocery stores. You can gamble anywhere, but that's amazing. $600 on a penny machine.
Right.
That's good. All right, let me say this to the chat. The Cutie Crew is invading Vegas. Cutie Crew, thanks for me waiting last. Oh, I gotta put Aunt Debbie's size on my spreadsheet. Thanks for me waiting for last information. I will be placing this order next Friday, the 23rd. I believe everybody is paid up. I also gotta put that down for Titi's sister. But it's not too late. If you want to join us, you have to join the Cutie Crew. But if you want to join us in Vegas, we turning it out September the 18th through the 21st. I cannot wait. I can't wait. But thank you guys again. This was fun. Thank you,
Love
Bravo. Have a
you.
good night. Love you as well, sis. Good Bad Apple. Love you. Congratulations to your nephew. Have a good
Love
night.
you too. Thank you.
Thank you, sis.
Good
And
night, ladies.
Philly
Hey,
girl,
Bye.
you know I love you.
Good
Praying for
night, y'all.
good
Good
you.
night.
night.
And Philly
Hey,
girl, love
Chit
you.
Chat. I called the hotel. They don't have local rates.
They
They don't.
don't.
No. Mm-mm. They just said
Wow.
AAA, AARP
Oh, that's on the website.
for the military and the like, but no rates for
For locals. Okay.
locals. Nope.
Okay. So they may have stopped that. You know, a lot of things changed when the
Sure
pandemic,
did.
you know,
Parking down at the strip and all that kind of
all of
stuff.
that.
Charging for that. Yeah.
Yes, man, because I used to park any and everywhere back in the day. You can't do it. Also, back in the day, I told you my ex-husband and I, we used to take advantage of them local rates. And when I tell you, we used to be able to pay under $50 for places like the Rio, the Palms, on the strip of maybe 100. So yeah, they changed that. But 30% is still, pretty good discount.
No, I mean it came down significantly when you do either AAA because it went from like 7 something down to 5 something. So that's it. But I'm telling you, the resort fee, girl.
That's what do it, because the room itself for the 3 days is only 300 and something bucks. But you know what? Oh, thank you for saying that. I saw an ad, and we'll talk about this more in members only. Because if you reserve, you can also cancel a reservation up to 72 hours before, the date of arrival.
Mm-hmm.
But did you not hear that it came across my Instagram, and I've been meaning to research it? They are trying to do away with the resort fees.
Because most of the people don't even use, they got the gym and the this and that. Listen, if I want to go to a gym, I'll go to a gym.
Yeah.
But they're crazy and I don't use public Wi-Fi, but the resort fees are just outrageous. So that would be good if that happened, because it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just saw it the other day, and I meant to look into it because it was specifically for Vegas, and it was on Instagram. I don't know if it was one of our local news stations or not, but I'll look into that. But that's what kicked that price up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would just be probably about $400.
Yes, exactly.
I do think it's a good thing for those of you continue to lock in your rates now by reserving. Philly girl, did you only pay for 1 day, or you paid yours in full? Or did you reserve yet?
I haven't reserved
yet. Okay.
Anything yet.
Okay. Yeah, we still have time. So the rates may go down because that's not prime Vegas time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Middle of September. So it may be lower by then, and I'll keep checking for everybody. But we'll talk about that, members only. Love you, Philly girl. Keep me posted to your mom. Have a good night, sis.
Have a good night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Those of you that are in the chat, Patroni Cuties and Cutie Crew, do not forget tomorrow we will be watching Real Housewives of Atlanta. Join me at 5:45 p.m. No. Ugh. What time do we start Central? 7. So join me at 6. 7.
No,
right?
the show comes on 5 o'clock here.
Right. So 7 Central, correct?
Yes.
So join a lot of the Cutie Crew. I try to put everything in Central Standard Time. But if you are in Pacific Standard Time, join me at 4:45 p.m. If you're in Central Standard Time, join me at 6:45 p.m. If you are in Eastern Standard Time, join me. Child, just look at your gad. I didn't forget. What is Let me get out of here.
8:45.
No, it'll be 7:45 because
Central.
no 7 Central.
I'm sorry, 4:45 here. 4:45.
Let's just do
6:45
Hold on.
Central.
Let's do the
7:45, I guess. Yeah, because it comes on at 8 o'clock back east.
Right. So it's really 5, 7, and 8.
Correct.
5 Pacific, 7 Central, 8 Eastern.
Correct.
But we start about 15 minutes early.
Yeah.
Right. So join me over there tomorrow night. But excellent discussion. You guys make sure to join us next week. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Make sure to click the link. We can't see your face. It's not a requirement of mine. It's not a requirement of YouTube. So click the link, come up and give us your discussion. Love my mama. Thank you so much, sis, for joining the Cutie Crew. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, I'm out of here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you again. If you're not subscribed to both of my channels, please make sure to subscribe to QTTV. Also, Chit Chat with QT. All right, I'm out of here. I'm going to take a bath and go to bed. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. Love you, Philly girl. Have a good night, sis.
Okay, sis. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, chat. Chat with you guys soon. Bye.
Chit Chat with QT. Chit Chat with QT. Chit Chat, Chit Chat, Chit Chat with QT. With QT. Chit Chat with QT. Chit Chat, Chit Chat, Chit Chat with QT. Chit Chat with QT. Chit Chat with QT. Chit Chat, Chit Chat, Chit Chat with QT.